It's This is an early morning session, so I welcome everyone and thank you for spending your morning with us. So today we have a very, very exciting speaker and a very, very exciting topic. This event that we're holding, session that we're holding, is in partnership with Ethereum cat herders. If you have not heard of them, pun intended, you will learn a lot about what they do. They are basically the people that are running the Ethereum ecosystem behind the scenes as it relates to a lot of the Ethereum work that's happening. And then ETH Builders NYC, which is a fantastic meetup group predominantly focused on Ethereum developers. Highly recommend you guys join that group. And maybe Kenneth can drop a link to the ETH Builders, and Pooja, you could drop a link in the chat for Ethereum cat herders, and share your contact information. Drop your LinkedIn. I'm gonna hand over the floor to Pooja. Just 2 seconds, or actually 2 minutes. I want to cover 2-3 things that we've just announced, and then I'll hand over controls to Pooja. One, we are announcing just now a really important event that covers this topic called miner extractable value. And basically, this is the games that miners can play to mess with the transaction pool and gain certain advantages. So if you're a trader or an investor, then this session is something that you really want to come in and listen to. And we have Peter Duhan, who runs the Duhan report, coming in and explaining this topic. This is where front running can occur. This is where all kind of strange things can occur, where a transaction that you feel like should have priority all of a sudden doesn't. And so Peter's going to come in and explain how this works. And there's been a little bit about this written in a bunch of different articles, but MEV is based on a paper written by Cornell. And I really urge you, and we put that link to that paper in our Slack. I urge you to read that paper before you come into this session to make the session very, very that much more useful. We're also announcing an NFT party in person, November 2nd. This will be in Midtown East. This is live. There'll be like 3 lightning talks, and there'll be food and drinks and networking and all that. We're calling it NFT party because it's about NFTs and it's a party. So there's a link that we dropped in the Slack. It's not public. There's a limited number of seats. If you want to join, jump onto Slack, into our Slack group, and grab a ticket, and try to be there by 6:30. The doors will close at 6:30, and Algorand will be there. We'll have a bunch of other people there as well. So I look forward to seeing you there if you are able to make it in person. Okay, we have a bunch of courses coming up. Some of these we've already completed. Just go to blockchain101.com to see all the different courses and seminars that we're holding over the coming months. We're going to slow down until late December. We're going to kind of pause, like after Thanksgiving. We're going to kind of slow down a little bit, and then we're going to kick it back up again in January, and with a massive pipeline of talks. So we're wrapping up. I think our last talk will be around December 15th. And then we're going to kind of go into hibernation mode. Maybe we'll do a Christmas party or holiday party towards the end of the year. But then that'll be it. And then we'll kind of come back the beginning of next year with a lot more sessions. And we will definitely be doing more in-person sessions throughout the rest of the year and beginning next year. If you're not part of our Slack, I will drop the Slack link. It's basically bit.ly/blockchain.nyc Slack. That will take you to our Slack group. So please join us. And there you'll find the Eventbrite and the password to get into the RSVP for the event. Okay. And with that, I'm going to hand over the controls to Pooja. Pooja, can you first tell us a little bit about your background? What you do professionally, and what Ethereum cat herders is, and then please dive into your presentation. But I think we first want to know about who you are what your background is in terms of your career, professional life, and what you're doing with Ethereum cat herders. And then I think you've got a fantastic presentation for us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me here. Good morning, everyone. I'm Pooja Ranjan. I joined the Ethereum community in 2016. I'm the founder of Avart LLC and owns a publishing website, etherworld.co. We started this website to share information and awareness on the blockchain technology. We provide internship opportunities to grad students interested in learning and getting hands-on experience on Ethereum blockchain. With another project, Block Action, we extended our support to the Beacon chain, the ETH2 chain, by providing Testnet Explorer before Genesis and even after the launch. And now that the Beacon chain is live and looking forward to its first upgrade, we are trying to contribute with some different projects. On the other hand, I am the herder-in-chief at Ethereum Cat Herders and spend a decent amount of my time coordinating and communicating with the Ethereum improvement proposal, the Ethereum developers team, talk about the network upgrade. About a year ago, I shared the idea of educational video series Peep and Eep, and today this is one of the most popular shows on the Ethereum improvement proposals. I'm going to talk more about Ethereum cat herders with my presentation. So let me quickly share my screen here. All right. So in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be talking about Ethereum cat herders, EIP, and network upgrades, standardization process, upcoming upgrades, and related proposals on Ethereum blockchain. Starting with the Ethereum cat herders, ECH is a decentralized project management working group for Ethereum blockchain. We started in January 2019 to help out with documenting Ethereum core developers meeting notes. And today we have over 15 contributors helping out with engineering, onboarding, and documenting tasks and other requirement that the client developers team have to support the team. And how do we support? It's mostly the communication and coordination about the upgrades. And we talk about the proposals. We educate people with our educational resources about the proposal, like what you can expect with Ethereum coming up with the next upgrade. We did a lot of work on process improvement and made a lot of documentation on that so people could learn and follow along. Community building is also an important aspect. So we try to go to different meetings, talk about cat herders, talk about Ethereum, and see if people are looking for any help, provide them the related help. Let's start with Ethereum improvement proposal. I believe Ethereum improvement proposals are like the building block of Ethereum blockchain, because we try to improve the Ethereum chain with adding proposals to it. So EIPs are the design document that describes new feature, maybe add process and information to Ethereum community. Let's talk a little bit about history of EIPs. As many of you may know that EIPs started with BIPs, that is Bitcoin Improvement Proposals, but BIP itself was inherited from Python Enhancement Proposal. These were proposed in 2000, and just like PEP1, we have got EIP1, which describes how to proceed with EIP. These are the standard types and categories. We are having 3 different types: standard track, meta, and informational. And the standard track are further divided into 4 different categories. I'm going to talk one by one. Just one point to mention here: core EIPs are the proposals that usually goes into the network upgrade, and rest 3 are implemented on their own. There is no hard work required for them. So starting with execution layer, which is also known as Ethereum 1.0. So these upgrades, so far we have seen in Ethereum 1, only. However, we are expecting the first upgrade of Ethereum 2 this month. And I'm going to talk about it in the later slides. So the proposals required for improvement of the performance of the chain, or maybe to add new features, they generally require consensus fork, and they follow the network upgrade process. We'll talk about the process in upcoming slides. And once an EIP is finalized, we do not try to change it. Like, we do allow some non-normative changes to be done, but usually once it is done, it is done. You cannot make any further changes. The consensus layer, the Ethereum 2.0 beacon chain that we say, they are expecting their first upgrade very soon, and their specs are documented. So they are not, at the moment, not following the traditional network upgrade model that is there for Ethereum 1.0 chain. For better integration of tooling and testing, Consensus Quilt team led by Sam Wilson, they are working on the documenting of Ethereum specification to be maintained on Python library. We are hoping that this is going to help us in like upcoming upgrades. When we have specs, we might be able to do things maybe in similar fashion to Ethereum 2.0 chain. So the next category is interface. So interface is a proposal that is around the API and RPCs. There is this website, eips.ethereum.org. There you can find the list of all the EIPs. Those are listed so far, maybe in different statuses, starting from draft to final. And we have different sections where you can find different categories of proposals. With the help of this Python library that is being created with the mesh team, we hope to move some of the interface EIPs to specs form, and they may not be maintained on EIP's GitHub. They would be available on execution specs GitHub repository. I have added link to all relevant resources in this slide. About the networking EIPs, these are proposals including Dev P2P and Light Client protocol. They follow the EIP standardization process, more or less similar to core proposals, except for they are not the part of upgrade. I mean, these are not associated with any hard fork. Meta EIP is like the process EIP. We have EIP 1, that is the only living meta EIP. By living here, we mean that this proposal is never expected to be completed. It is never going to attain the final status and would be under constant review. Earlier, we used to have meta EIP for every upgrade, but with the recent changes, we may not be having meta EIP for any upgrade. That would be documented as upgrade.md at execution spec repo. Informational EIP, as you can see, these just describe the Ethereum design issues. These are general guideline information. There is one informational EIP, EIP 2982, that I would like to mention here. It's about Serenity Phase 0. It's going to be final very soon, and that describes how Ethereum 2.0 chain is working. Many people talk about the process, how we govern the EIP. So process is very simple. It's just that we are trying to share the information about it, like how we do that. It's already mentioned in EIP 1, but a simple process flow is there. You have to write the proposal, document it under the guidelines. Those are available in EIP 1. Then you have to talk about it, socialize the proposal, let people know about it. And if it is a core proposal, you might want to get the approval of Ethereum all core developers in the ACD meeting. And it has to undergo review with different set of people at different point of time. About all these processes, Matt Gannat, he is an EIP editor. He works for Consensus Mesh team. He has recorded a very informational episode on PEEP and EIP, talking about the entire process of EIP. So someone is new, want to learn about the process, I think that's a good watch. In a nutshell, the standardization process looks like this. Like, you have an idea, you want to document it as a draft, then send it for review. And once it is done reviewing, you think it is ready, we send it to last call. And after last call, it stays there for next 14 days for final review. And once it is done, it can be marked as final. You can see some more statuses here. One is living, as I mentioned earlier. EIP1 is the only living EIP. There is this status stagnant, which we have introduced to consider proposals which are not active for over 6 months. And there is this terminal status called withdrawn. Like if any proposal is not moving forward for any of the reason, say for example, there is better proposal that might go into the system, or maybe an author has left working on the proposal, he doesn't want to continue working on it and he wants to withdraw it, or for whatever reason, if they don't want to continue with the proposal, they can send it to withdrawn. With some recent changes, we had this meeting just yesterday, and we are considering stagnant as another terminal status. So with the help of EIP bot, we have moved a good number of EIPs which were not active for a while to stagnant status. And we want to give a clear picture of the proposals which are active and which are useful for community. So very soon you will see some changes in this diagram, moving stagnant to another terminal status. These are the reviewers. They are there to review the proposals at different statuses. Review, when it is under review, it is always for review with the core development team, with the community and the EIP editor. Same goes for the EIP1, like that is again under constant review. Every time if people find that something needs to be updated, we keep on updating it, trying to make it as a living document and most healthy document that people can follow along to learn the process. All these information are available on the Cat Herders Medium website with the new Ethereum improvement process. Some people have talks, concerns about Ethereum request for comments. Those are also known as ERCs. ERCs is nothing but an EIP. It's a special category of EIP, as we've seen in the earlier diagram. It's a standard track EIP. So it also follows the standard process of standardization of an EIP, except for it does not go for any network upgrade. These are application level changes, and some of the ERC that we know is 20, ERC 20, that is token standard. Many of the tokens have been built on top of that. ERC 721, that is NFT standard. ERC 1155, that is multi-token standard. I have documented this Ethereum request for comment process where the information on ERCs are explicitly mentioned, though we can find the information in EIP1 in bits and parts too. Moving on to the big topic, Ethereum network upgrade. So the network upgrade process is basically divided into 3 phases. CFI, that is called consider for inclusion, DevNet, and mainnet. So CFI is when an author proposes its proposal to be considered for upcoming upgrade. Obviously, it has to be a core proposal because that's the only proposal that goes into network upgrade. And like they can propose it, bring it to the Ethereum all core dev meeting, but it needs to have clients' consensus. Definitely more than 2 clients should approve to consider that proposal to be implementing in their own client, so it goes for the network upgrade. We eventually try to get consensus of all the clients with small modification, and that's when it attains the status of approved and it goes into CI DevNet phase. So the DevNet phase is when the developers set up a testnet only for client team. It's not open for a community like we have Rapston testnet. It was introduced with the YOLO, you only live once testnet. And since there we have been using this DevNet for internal testing purposes. However, when proposal is ready and tested, we send it to the public testnet, Garley, Rapston, Coven, and all these testnets. After like a rigorous testing, it is deployed on mainnet on a certain block number. This is the process flow. If you want to follow which proposal are getting into which upgrade, This tracker is available on Ethereum execution specs. So here you can see for Arrow Glacier upgrade, I'll be talking about it in depth in upcoming slides. We have only one proposal proposed, and that is approved, called EIP 4345. That is just to push the difficulty bomb to June 2022. So as we move on the different phases, we keep moving the proposals. This is the bigger picture of Ethereum network upgrade. I have tried to put it in a way for entire 2021, like what we have seen this year, and some of it's in 2022. So this year we already have Berlin upgrade, the London upgrade, and we are expecting the Arrow Glacier in the month of December. That's on the proof of work chain. And on the beacon chain side, we are expecting Altair this month. With these upgrades done, we are expecting the merge that's going to be the next biggest, maybe in Q1 of 2022. It would be followed by Shanghai, Cancun, Prague. And on the beacon chain side, we can expect something like staking withdrawal, because that's the next big thing that is expected with the consensus layer. Now, after the merge, we are trying to drop the terminology of ETH1 and ETH2, and ETH1 would be called as execution layer, ETH2 would be called as consensus layer. Let's start with Altair upgrade. So Altair is the first beacon chain upgrade that we are expecting on October 27th. The epoch number is already decided. It is bringing three basic features. That's accounting reform, sync committee, and light sync protocol. Accounting reform will bring changes to penalty parameters. We know that now we have to do staking validators out there, and they get some reward and penalty. So it's just the adjustment of penalty parameters or the reward parameters. You can see the diagram right next to the presentation. It's about what are the changes there. The inactivity penalty quotient is reduced by 25%. So if you are inactive for a period of time, you would not be punished as hard as you were before Altair. The minimum slashing penalty quotient is also decreased by 50%. However, the proportional slashing multiplier is increased from 1 to 2. And the other feature, Sync Committee. Sync Committee have a special role to facilitate the light clients, and they have new and modified duties. Light Sync protocol explains how light client will work utilizing the output of the Sync Committee. So the feature of Altair upgrades are explained by devs and researchers like Vitalik Buterin, Danny Ryan, Alex Stokes, Adrian Satin, and other client teams. We have multiple episodes recorded on PEEP and ETH to understand these upgrade and features. The playlist available all on Ethereum Cat Herders YouTube. Moving on to the next upgrade on the execution layer side, the proof of work chain, which we are hoping to be the last upgrade on proof of work chain. It's Arrow Glacier. After the discussion in the All Core Dev meeting last Friday, EIP 4345, which is to upgrade the network and pushing the difficulty bomb till June 2022, has been updated with the number of blocks that we want to push. This upgrade is expected on December 8th, so you can expect the client updates by November 8th. Difficulty bomb is basically the set of codes that are added to Ethereum blockchain to raise the difficulty level. So it makes mandatory for everyone to upgrade if they want to continue with the blockchain. Otherwise, the blockchain will freeze. This is also called as Ice Age. This difficulty adjustment was put into place in November 2016 to ensure that everyone who wants to continue must upgrade. And the first final EIP is EIP 100 proposed by Vitalik Buterin. The one that we are expecting in December will be the successor of EIP 3554, which went live with the Berlin upgrade, I suppose. And sorry, it went live with the London upgrade that was deployed just a few months back. And James Hancock, who is the former hard fork coordinator for Ethereum blockchain, has given a very good explanation of how difficulty bomb works and how and why do we need to have it in the Ethereum chain in the first place. If people are interested to learn more about it, it's a must watch. Other proposals which are for Shanghai, EIP 2935. I'm not going into too much details of that, just give you a brief overview of it. So if you're interested, you can learn more about it. This proposal was documented by Vitalik Buterin about a year ago. It's to store historical block hashes in a contract and modify the block hash opcode to read this contract. This EIP was, when drafted, was not intended to be permanent. So structure may be changing with merge. So if merge comes before Shanghai, then probably we wouldn't see this proposal. The next popular EIP is EIP 3074. It's about auth and auth opcodes. It was also proposed about a year ago, and the proposal has gained a lot of momentum, especially from the dApp developers community. It suggests to bring some significant changes to externally owned account, like EOA account, to delegate the control of their account to a contract. As dangerous as it may sound, it may not be in reality. It does talk about giving account access to the third party, but again, the trusted third party. We have multiple use cases here. You can actually pay for gases with token, you can subsidize your dApp, and even off-chain payment is possible. Considering the sensitivity of this proposal, author Sam Winelson, Matt Granett, Ansgar Dietrich, and Mika Zoltu organized multiple community calls, produced educational documents, and even Ethereum Foundation helped get an external audit done before considering it for the future upgrade. The next one that we are expecting is EIP 3540. This proposal is to help improve the present EVM. We already have EIP 3541 deployed in London, just to kind of make a stepping stone for this proposal to be included in the following upgrade. We have recorded an interesting episode with the authors, and all these information are available on Ethereum Cat Herders YouTube. These are the list of other proposals that you can expect with Shanghai or any of the future upgrades. Now let's talk about the merge. So the merge is the next big upgrade coming up on Ethereum mainnet, where the consensus mechanism will shift from proof of work to proof of stake. Why proof of work? Why proof of stake? So we started with the proof of work, but since the early days of Ethereum, proof of stake has been a long waited for many reasons, like to increase the decentralization of the core consensus by lowering the barrier of entry, to increase crypto economic security, and of course, to eliminate the energy hungry mining of the current POW mechanism. The specification of the changes is being documented in EIP 3675 by Mikhail Kalinin, Daniran, and Vitalik Buterin. It was proposed in July 2021, and it is in the draft status, which is literally the first status of any proposal. Though it is in like very initial stage of documentation, it contains much valuable information about terminal total difficulty, first finalized block, how POW block would continue processing, and the block structure, etc. The transaction process is expected to be seamless for end users, like as simple as changing the switch. With Mikhail Kalinin, we recorded this episode where he explained the basic structure, the basic block, how it would look like after the merge. It's a good watch for people who are interested to learn more about it. And for many of us may have heard about this merge DevNet workshop that was organized in Greece this month. It's like many testnet at client execution level and consensus level are being conducted. If people remember the reunionism that was organized this summer, so the merge team is already making progress, and this Amphora was very similar to that. Here, developers, 40 developers from Ethereum Foundation and Consensus Team joined, and they did this interop workshop trying to work with one consensus layer client with one execution layer client. Multiple combinations were there. On October 14th, we just launched the DevNet Pithos. That is the 5th version of the Amphora DevNet. The high-level technical plans for Amphora is documented by Danny Ryan. I have shared the link in this presentation. These are the useful links that if you're interested to learn more about Ethereum improvement process and the network upgrade, you can follow these links. And recently we have started this EIP Insight. It's basically a monthly report on EIPs to collect data on EIP's progress. It will provide a list of proposals. Those are added every month, and if there is any status change during that month. So this has been super helpful for people who are looking to learn more about the proposals. Well, if you would like to get involved or join the Ethereum Cat Herders, here how you can reach us. You can reach us on Ethereum Cat Herders Discord. We are also on Twitter's, Medium, and GitHub. The website where you can follow us is www.ethereumcatherders.com. Thanks for being so patient and listening to my presentation. And yes, I chose this fall theme designed by SlidesGo for today's presentation. Why? Because it's October and my little one loves fall colors. So if you like the theme, kudos to SlidesGo team. And if you like the animations, send love to my little one. Happy to take any questions at this time.
Sure, let me start off with some questions and then we'll take some from the audience. If you have a question, please feel free to drop it in the chat or raise your hand and you can get on the microphone. First of all, Pooja, thank you for that presentation. There's a lot of information that you had to cover. Question I get often is how can somebody submit an ERC and then how technical do they need to be in order to, let's say somebody has an idea for a token standard and they want to submit something beyond what we have right now, the 20, the 721 and 1155. What have you seen in terms of somebody who may have ideas, but they might not have very strong technical knowledge, or what's the process? What website do they go to say, hey, I've created a write-up, I want to submit this as an ERC? How do they go about it? And like, I guess not just in a theoretical conceptual way, but in a more practical way. Can you describe that?
Right. ERC is again a standard that is similar to any other standard. Like if you know how to design an EIP, ERC is the same one. I'm just trying to pull out my slide for governing an EIP. I think here it is. So when you have thoughts, you want to document the ideas, you would want to document and submit a pull request at Ethereum GitHub/EIPs. So there you create a pull request suggesting that this is my proposal and I would like to make it a standard. And the moment you create a pull request over there, you are expected to go to Fellowship of Ethereum Magician and talk about your idea, just to make sure that this idea is not already there, maybe in any other form of, in any other status, but final, and to make sure that it is actually relevant and people are actually looking forward to your proposal. So we start talking about it. We start discussing on different forums, but the best place to start with is Fellowship of Ethereum Magician, because that's where all the EIP, all the client team or the Ethereum developers hang out. Most of the application developers are also there because they know that that's going to be a central place for discussion for any proposals, including ERCs. So they have to just create a pull request. And once the pull request is up, EIP editors, we have a team of EIP editors, they review and they leave some comments saying that whether it is right or not right. They just talk about the general format and they would give you the high level instruction how you can improve your EIP, ERC. EIP, ERC is both same. It's just that ERC is a standard track EIP. And that's how you can start proceeding. You can talk more about it. And we do invite authors to talk about their proposal and explain, provide an overview of what actually you want to achieve. Like in a form of document is fine, but when it comes to a presentation or talk, it's easier for people to get it. So that's what we try to do and help out with any place they want help with. Like Catter just try to provide all the supports, move a proposal from one status to the final status.
Okay, Pooja, that was a lot of information. I need to like go back to the video and like review all of what you just said, just even that past 2 minutes. Can you clarify the relationship between EIP and ERC? So you said ERC is a formal version of an EIP. Can you go dig a little bit more? What does that mean? That it's more, does it mean that it's an accepted thing now that's going to go through another process?
No. So ERC, if you look at this slide, ERC is a standard track EIP. It's just that it's Ethereum request for change, and this change is not for the protocol level. This is for application level. REST core, networking, and interface, these are mostly on protocol. Core is protocol level. Networking is how they need to interact, and interface is for APIs and all. So ERC is another category of standard track. So it should not be following a different process. It has to follow same as rest of the EIPs. It's just that in past few years, ERCs has gained a lot of momentum with ERC 20, the proposal that helps out build multiple tokens, and the NFT standard that we talk about 721. So this is just same as EIP. It does not have any different process. It does not have an even different editor. However, we have specialized editors who looks into ERCs and give comments, and there are editors who gives into core EIPs only, but we try to keep it as EIPs only, should not be treated differently.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification. And then in terms of the session where you have the magicians, can you just go back to that slide, please? So that is possibly a scary moment for a lot of people where they come in and it's almost like you're defending a thesis, right? Are there videos of that, of the people going through that, that process, and or anything to that effect? Like, is there, can you shed some more light on what happens during those sessions?
So the Fellowship of Ethereum Magician is a forum for discussing proposals. It's a text forum. It's not video.
Oh, it's a text forum. Oh, okay, got it.
It's a text forum.
Yeah.
These are designed by a group of Ethereum core developers. They wanted to have a place where they can freely discuss any proposal. They can talk about their ideas and get feedback from different community members. Like if there is a proposal, say for example 1559, that was one of the most popular proposals in the recent days. So we talk about EIP 1559 on Fellowship of Ethereum Magician. When we go there, you will find that it's a list of all proposals that are there on eips.ethereum.org. So we say that, okay, I want this proposal to be going in. Someone will come and say that I don't want to see this going in the present format. These are the changes which I suggest to make it, that will help more of the community members get on board. Then developers will start considering that, is that change worth enough to be considered to get these people onboarded, or is that just for a person specific change? So you would get a lot of feedback on Fellowship of Ethereum Magician, because that's a place where client team, developers, protocol levels, and application level developers all come together and share thoughts about any proposal.
Okay, fantastic. And then, so very simply, if I want to submit an ERC, I'm submitting an EIP, correct?
That's
which
correct.
that then eventually transforms into an ERC.
Yeah, it does not transform into ERC. It's just that it would be called as ERC. Say, for example, this, if you remember, we have different other categories, network and interface. We don't call it as network. Like ERC, we call it as ERC, and network we call as network. No, it is just EIP. And recently we did one more change that I think is important to mention here. Earlier, people used to call as, like, whenever the name is there, we say it's EIP-ERC20 and then standardization of token. Now, we don't have to mention ERC in your name of the proposal. It has to be EIP20. It is a category, ERC20, that people know about it, and that would be explicitly mentioned, but that should not be a part of the name of the proposal.
Got it. So the ERC20 was or is EIP20.
Correct.
Got it. So if I want to submit a proposal for, and I'm looking at right now the Ethereum Magicians page, and I see ERC 2350 for semantic contracts. These are all very interesting things. EIP 4361 sign-in with Ethereum. So if I wanted to submit something, what do I need to be prepared for in terms of a response from the community? Do I need to defend what I'm saying? Do I need, what type of politicking do I need to do in advance? You know, obviously I probably should give you a call first, you know, call Pooja, but what's your advice for people that maybe have some great ideas, but are a little bit shy, a little bit scared, a little bit worried, or a little bit, this is territory that they're not very familiar with, but they want to submit stuff. What's their first step, and what do you advise them?
So we have this EIP1 in which we describe the process, how an EIP should be documented. We also have EIP template that will give you like basic template of how you have to document your proposal. Basic things that is generally people look for is application of it, the usage of it. So if you already have a use and you think it is a standard use, like it's not only one project specific, you think that other people can also make benefit of that standard and use it in their own project, then you should come up with a proposal to make it a standard. Because writing ERC is not just documenting your proposal, it's about documenting a standard and that you are proposing, so people in the community can make use of that and they do not have to write their own code. They can just simply pick up your code and add it to their project and make whatever they want to make on it. So the suggestion here would be to reach out to go to EIP1 and follow the instructions available in EIP template. You just have to input your data and make sure you have, if you have any implementation ready, fair enough. If you do not have, you just want to put on some code, maybe in Solidity or whatever language you prefer, and just make sure that this can be used by multiple projects.
Yeah, and then so from, let's say from, understand like the process point of view, you explained that, that was very clear. But from a reality point of view, is it a messy process? Is it very political? Is there flame wars? Is it, or is it, you know, is the culture very cordial? Like somebody submits something, are they going to get laughed at? What's the process? Like what is it? What's the real reality of like going through that process? Are a lot of these proposals shot down? Like what's the success rate, or I wouldn't call it success, but what's the rate of some of these actually making it and becoming approved? Can you talk about maybe the culture behind the, you know, this ERC, submitting our ERC, and the community that might be responding to it?
ERC especially is like is a category of EIPs which is flooded. Like we have equal number of core proposals in the repository as we have ERC. Generally, the interface and networking, we have 8 to 10 proposals, but ERCs are in hundreds. So obviously, not all of them make it through. I think 20 proposals must be there in final status so far. And many of them are in draft or any other statuses. The reason for not going ahead, first of all, no one laughs at like, if you're proposing a proposal and that is not good, because this, I believe that Ethereum community is quite supportive and they are very helpful in letting you know if you're putting some effort to bring something good, they will let you know. And if they don't like the idea, they are kind of blunt. They say that, okay, this is not that good. And they would also come up with suggestion. If you add this, then probably we will be accepting this because it's going to help in certain situations. What we have done recently, the carrier, is we have started a separate meeting where we are reviewing each of these proposals, these ERC proposals, and trying to understand what's going on. And if people are leaving comments and saying that that this proposal should not be allowed to move to the final status because of these reasons, then we try to reach out to different teams and understand what's going on. Because when we have a proposal, we want that it should be adopted. It's not just to be listed. And for example, if it is to be adopted by different service providers, W3JS or Ethereum JS, and these people are saying that we don't like this proposal for these many reasons, there is no way we can proceed that proposal. So you have to make sure as an author that the proposal is not for your project. Many of the proposals, ERC proposals, did not go through because they were not a standard. They were just information about a project that someone made. So these proposals cannot be a part of ERC. I would not say that they should be adding it as informational EIP, because even that is not good. That is not about Ethereum. That's just about your project. So be sure it's not about one project. It's about the overall. And we have good people here, not only EIP and ERC editors, but also the project teams like Wallet. They will jump in and they will share their thoughts whether we are going to do it or not. So we have a good set of people. They can give you feedback about it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for the clarification. And if anybody has a question, please let me know. I'm going to ask one more question, and we're coming on to 9 a.m. In terms of the merge, how is that going? What does that look like? What's your prediction on how successful that will be? Are there any hitches? Are there, is there something that should be working that might not look like it's going to be working? What are your thoughts on that right now in terms of where it's at, in terms of the reality of it at this stage?
So we discussed merge in the last all core dev meeting that happened last Friday. And because there are too many things to be decided, one thing is dependent on other. Merge on its own is making very good progress. We had realism in summer, in which people actually experimented on how the beacon chain would work after the merge, and how the execution chain will look like how they will process blocks. And recently, as I mentioned about Amphora, they try to work with one client versus another client, meaning like there is this flow. Mikhail Kalinin talked about the architecture, like how the data will be processed in different layers, but it would not be for a user. It would be for the developers only to understand how it is going on. And I think they are making very good progress. They are very much confident. And in the last core dev meeting, we discussed about how by when we think we are ready for releases. And we hope that by February, there should be all client releases going on. And because this is going to be one of the biggest changes, that's why we are giving a lead time. Like once it is ready, the client releases are there. We are giving extra lead time for people to be educated about it, and they have to be prepared for this big change, right? What you are expected to do and what you can expect from us, the support that you are looking for. So there would be a lot of community outreach I'm expecting between February to maybe March, April, just talking to people, how comfortable they are, making infrastructure providers ready, bring up to the speed, so people don't feel any hitches in between, right? We have Etherscan to know how a transaction process, right? So we would want to make sure that every explorer is working fine, every API providers have done things on the back end. So once the switch is on, nobody feels a difference. It's just on the development team side, and people are as good as they were doing their transaction in a simple chain.
Okay, thank you for that. Very insightful. Pooja,
just one last thing.
Sure,
so we have this merge readiness checklist. I have added the link in the slide. So in this merge mainnet readiness checklist, you can find where you can find more information about merge and at what stage we are. We have done a lot of progress over there, but that's a good way of tracking for community if they want to follow along.
Great, fantastic. Now, we do have a question from the audience, but I have one more question. In terms of code changes, sorry, the changes to Solidity or Viper, things like that. If I'm a developer, I'm a Solidity developer, which I am, and I want to kind of see the roadmap for Solidity in terms of what's going to be added, what might be taken out of it. Is there a place I can go and see that, right? I'm assuming that the language itself is being defined in a community process. Is that the case? If not, then who's defining that? And what does that roadmap look like? How do we get more information on that roadmap?
I'm not very familiar with Solidity like a team very much, but I may check with my team. I know there is this one guy, William Schwab. He is also into Solidity, and he may be bonded with a team. I'll check and we'll let you know more.
I appreciate it, and we'll post that response on our Slack and ETH builders on their Slack as well. So we have a question. Pooja mentioned something about ECH offering Ethereum internships or something to that effect. Can you speak to more about that? I guess there's some people that may be interested in getting involved.
So from ECH, we provide opportunity for people to get involved, and we have this EIP editor apprenticeship program trying to educate people about what the EIP process is and if they would like to become a future EIP editor. So again, this has scope for technical people like Solidity Dev. They review the proposals, they learn about the codes, those are there in the EIPs and ERCs, and they see that, okay, fine, this is fair enough, this is working for other proposals or other projects, they approve it. So this apprenticeship program is there for people who are interested on the process side. And the other program that I mentioned, I suppose they are probably referring about my like my personal website, etherworld.co. There we provide opportunity to grad students to come join us, learn about whatever they want to learn. And we do some projects. We did a wallet project in the past. We did the blockchain explorer project in the past. So they get hands-on experiences there. So if anyone is interested, please reach out to me.
Yeah, so Pooja, can you drop the link on the chat here for both of that, for for your website? If you can drop a link in the chat so people can click on it, and that's a great way for. And we'll drop it in the Slack, but I think you should drop it here so that people can click on it. And then if so, for both of those, for the first one, where does somebody send their resume to? Like, what's the entry point is what I'm asking. Like, where do they go to like say, hey, I want to be involved with this apprenticeship? Where do they go?
They can simply join the Cat Herders Discord. It's Ethereum Cat Herders, discord.io, Ethereum Cat Herders. They can just come to general and say, talk about it. We have members, and I will talk about that.
Okay, great. And your website, can you drop it in the chat here so people can click on it? And then if they want to contact you, how do they contact you?
This is my Twitter handle at poojaranjan19. DMs are always open, and they can also DM me directly on Ethereum Cat Herders Discord. They're also my DM are open.
Okay, fantastic, great. Okay, anything else? Kenneth, anything else we need to cover? I think we're good.
We're good. Thank you, Pooja.
Yeah. All right, Pooja, thank you so much. It's 9 a.m. Thank you for your time. Thank everyone for taking their time to join us. The video of this will be available, I guess, on multiple places. I'm sure we can get this onto the Ethereum Cat Herders YouTube and on the ETH Builders Slack and the Blockchain NYC Slack. We'll be posting that video. It will be on blockchain101.com from our side. Remember, everyone, we're having an NFT party on November 2nd. This is in person in Midtown. There'll be a bunch of speakers, quick lightning talks, and then a bunch of food and networking. So I look forward to, there's a question from Yuna. Maybe Yuna, you could take that offline. And then we'll you know, reach out to Pooja directly, you know, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, and you know, Pooja is going to be at DeFi-Con, so please check out DeFi-Con, and she'll be speaking there. We've moved it to May, and hopefully, Pooja, you can be there in person.
I hope to.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting me today.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Take care, guys. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.